Working our way up, we have the hip armor thing, the thing that went on my hip. This is based on a Kamui cosplay pattern on her female armor for the hip armor. I just made it extremely wider since I'm a lot bigger than she is. Velcro just soldered a honeycomb pattern, which is what Bowser's shell has. Plus I glued a bit of fabric in there as a pocket, so I could store my extra sewing kit in there and all that stuff. I ended up not needing that, because for some reason, whenever there is a cosplay repair station available, I don't have any cosplay malfunctions. That is attached to the belt. I don't know why, I'm really proud of this Bowser symbol. So the initial layer is made out of that cheap foam that I mentioned, and I've just dremeled it down. The underneath layer, because it's actually 2 layers, is made out of a higher quality foam from Lumen's Workshop, which I actually got as a free sample for entering a cosplay comp. The belt is just some wet... The material store calls it wet look lycra. I don't exactly understand why it's called that. To me, it looks like a stretch pleather. But that's what it's called. The belt is literally just bits of material I've sewn together. Little pockets have press studs, which I made just big enough for my phone to sit in. And this one had safety pins and my cosplay cards in them. Just some Velcro to keep it together. These tabs were for the hip armor to be attached to. It's just elastic, very strong elastic, so it doesn't have much stretch, but just in case. And I also had some press studs on the back of the symbol, which I sewed to my dress to keep it up and straight to make sure it didn't go wonky or go walkabout around my body. The dress is a Living Dead clothing dress, because I just ended up not having time to make the corset like I wanted to, because first time making armor, I really had no idea what I was doing. Making our way up, we have the arms. So, my bracer, essentially just the same concept as the leg armor. This is actually Evil Ted pattern that I've altered. It was way too long for my arm, so I've had to shorten it dramatically, and I still reckon it's a bit too long personally. This one is particularly where the issue of the foam not keeping its shape was an issue, because it would do that effect. No matter how many times I heated it and shaped it, it just wouldn't keep the shape after a period of time, and as you can see, the Velcro just... Like, I definitely had to do double the Velcro on this one, because it just wasn't even sticking to that first one, no matter how many times I replaced the Velcro. And this Velcro I used for keeping dresses on when I was dancing as a kid, so it's definitely not an issue with Velcro. It isn't sticking. It just can't keep its grip when it's on an angle. Same thing with the wires. These ones were bent a bit better than the other one, but wires going through those, because I noticed these are particularly delicate. Pretty much exactly the same process with the legs, just extra foam, a lot of customizing on getting the shape right, since the pattern was originally for like a big, strong, muscular arm, and I have just a fat arm. Working off the same pattern was the upper arm. Now, initially, this actually had a whole curve, because it was meant to all be on one arm. All of this arm armor was meant to be on one arm when I initially designed it, and that was a full-on point, and I ended up having to cut that. And I have a bit of tape at the top, Velcro at the top there for a bit of elastic, which I had going from my rig down through the shoulder armor onto it. Now, I know technically you're meant to connect bracer to arm and arm to shoulder, but the shoulder was already having issues just floating on my neck in general, so I didn't want to put extra stress on that. So just having a separate piece of elastic going through down my shoulder set the best idea. And then plans changed, and all my friends kept suggesting putting this on the other arm to make it more even. Came up, so then I just moved the piece of elastic onto the other side of the rig. All things that I wish I could have fixed up in time and altered the armor, because my original concept for the armor was more based on something like this, which was the concept I was going for. I was going for the whole one-sided armor look. I will actually post a picture of my original drawing of my Bowser armor. That was the original concept. Shoulder. Now this bit here is a continuation of that Evil Ted's pattern. I actually very much like it. And this bit here is actually an altered version of Kamui's, I can't remember the name of it, but it was the neck armor that she had given out. And I initially was using that because I wanted to be like protecting my boobs. It didn't work, no matter how much I altered it, it didn't work on my fat neck. So I ended up altering it to go here and be like one of those lips that protect you on the side. It has Velcro here to go on the rig, and Velcro here just to keep it on. And I did have a second piece of Velcro here, but that ended up making it sit weird whenever I had the shell on, so I ended up not using it. But I'll show you the rig in a minute, but to be honest, I'm very much like this particular piece. I don't know why. Ignoring the fact that there is a random pentagon and then a random little thing, the pattern got wonky as it went over non-flat surfaces. Whole same process of the sealing and painting and just using watered down paints and brushing it off unevenly to get the weathered effect. You can see there's some wrinkles obviously from me bending it as it was against my neck. But this shoulder piece I really like, I don't know why. And then we got the rig, because initially all the idea was everything was going to be stuck to the corset, but I didn't end up doing that. Got the Velcro, which the shoulder piece attaches to. That I was quite happy with. I didn't notice any issues other than when I tried to like turn my head too far. The elastic, which I moved from this side to this side to keep the arm piece up, was actually quite good because it ended up sitting on the back of my arm and I was wearing black underneath everything, so you didn't really notice it. It is a pattern. It is based off this pattern, which initially had a belt going underneath the boobs, but I didn't want that. So in order to compensate for that tightness, I put an extra bit of elastic along there. I know it's not pretty, but no one was seeing the back of me at the time.